I never expected her first words after walking in to be in order. Lu Chen, send Lin Yuxuan 60,000 yuan every month from now on. Otherwise, I will not accept your support. At that moment, I knew Su Wanqing had been reborn too. In my previous life, I poured money and resources into her. I made her the richest woman in the country. Yet she thought she was born to be a chief executive. She even tried to threaten me from her lofty perch. I am giving you one chance. Miss it. And begging will not help you. Uncle Fu, cancel his card. Buy him a comfortable pillow. Let him be the richest man in his dreams. Yes, young master. Lu Chen, you will regret this. What are you doing? I will give you one more chance. Transfer 60,000 yuan in living expenses to this account. HMPH. Why should I pay his living expenses? I am not his father. It is only 60,000 yuan. 30,000 cannot even buy one of my bags. See this. A top luxury limited edition. Su Wanqing. Have you forgotten eating at the cafeteria last month? You even secretly stuffed steamed buns into your bag. That is a lie. If I am lying, tell me, how much did you pay for that bag? A Hermès Birkin. 300,000 yuan. My dad brought it back from France. 300,000 yuan? The hardware on that bag is plastic. The stitching is crooked. The same one online cost 500 yuan, shipping included. What do you know? 30,000 yuan for one bag? Su Wanqing, you must be dreaming. Before I supported you, you could not even afford a 10 yuan box meal. Young Master Lu, 30,000 yuan is nothing to you. But that is a month of living expenses for Su Wanqing and me. Your family is so wealthy. Shouldn't you help us? Do you have to humiliate us like this? Su Wanqing, from now on, even if we end up begging on the streets, you must never swallow your pride and beg him for me. If you will not give him money, then I do not want your support either. Su Wanqing, if you have any backbone, pay back every yuan of mine that you spent. I will round it down. That comes to 800,000 yuan. In 10 years, I will turn your 800,000 into 8 million. But, Lu Chen, listen carefully. I am giving you one chance. Miss it, and even kneeling to beg me will not help. Lu Chen, what kind of grudge do you have against him? Wasn't he so obedient before? He kept his head down around everyone. He even spoke in such a soft voice. Now he is like a completely different person. Drive to the hospital. Huh, why? Jian's mother was beaten into the hospital by debt collectors. Take a taxi home. Drive. At that moment, Su Wanqing and Lin Yuxuan ran over and stood beside the car. Lin Yuxuan got straight in. Su Wanqing remained outside. I sat silently in the back. The driver immediately understood. He took out his phone and called the police. Hello, police. Two lunatics suddenly forced their way into the car. They damaged the leather seats and frightened my young master. I have them under control. Please send officers immediately. Do you know who I am? If you delay my business, can you bear the consequences? Lu Chen, you are just going to watch. Tell your man to open the door. Su Wanqing, this car is mine. The driver works for my family too. You barged in without so much as a word, and now you are ordering my employee around. Lu Chen, I can accept your support, but do not dream that I will ever like you. HMPH. There must be something seriously wrong with you. I would sooner fall for Sister Feng than you. Lu Chen, you agree. Those two have mental problems. I recommend sending them straight to the hospital. You want to go to the hospital? Yes, take us there, quickly. Oh. Then get in. I will take you there. Fine, face the consequences yourselves. The number you have dialed is powered off. Lu Chen, how dare you? A 3,000 yuan observation fee. Sign here. 3,000 yuan. Lin Yuxuan stared at the bill. He froze. Since Lin Yuxuan and Su Wanqing could not pay the medical bill, the police took them back to the station. Tell me, what did you to do? We did nothing. They locked us inside and would not let us out. You did nothing. Then why did I hear that you told the nurse you were the future richest person and would invest in a psychiatric hospital branch? She also said she would donate 100 million yuan to the hospital. 100 million yuan. Where would you get that? I will have it someday. You cannot even pay a 3,000 yuan observation fee now. And you are talking about someday. Su Wanqing, what has happened to you? You used to be such a good student. How did you become like this? I will give you one more chance. Go back and focus on your classes. Do not cause any more trouble. One more time, and no one will be able to save you. Just you wait. Lu Chen. The Maybach's brake pads gave a faint hum. It stopped smoothly outside the city hospital emergency department. The door opened. The smell of disinfectant mixed with the chill night air cut straight into my nostrils. I stepped out. I fastened a button on my suit jacket. The emergency lobby was loud. Relatives crying out, gurney wheels rattling, and monitors beeping, blended into a boiling roar. But the harshest sound was a brazen stream of curses. No money. No money. Then your damn mother is not leaving this emergency room alive today. I looked toward the voice. Near the bench outside the emergency room, 4 or 5 burly men with full-sleeve tattoos had gathered. Their bald leader raised his foot and kicked a skinny young man in the chest. The young man wore a faded plaid shirt. He stood firmly in front of the emergency room doors. The kick was vicious. The young man gave a muffled groan. His back slammed hard into the metal doors with a dull thud, but he did not move aside. His hands clung tightly to the doorframe. Blood seeped from beneath his fingernails. That was Jian. In my previous life, he was the tech genius who helped me, in only 3 years, dominate Southeast Asia's fintech market. I headed over. My leather shoes struck the cheap marble tiles, each step heavy and dull. Uncle Fu led from men in black suits, bodyguards silently following behind me. The bald man was still cursing. He raised the baseball bat in his hand, ready to strike again. Stop. Jian's eyes were bloodshot, like a wolf protecting its cub. The baseball bat swung down, whizzing through the air. It never landed. A large hand in a tactical glove had clamped firmly around the bald man's wrist. It was my head bodyguard, Agui. What the hell? What gang are you with? How dare you meddle in my business? The bald man's face flushed red. He struggled twice but could not break free. Agui said nothing. He simply twisted his wrist. The sharp crack of a bone dislocating rang clearly through the noisy corridor. The bald man screamed. The baseball bat clattered to the floor. I walked up to the bench. Without looking at the bald man, I pulled a disinfectant wipe from my pocket and wiped my hands. The area fell silent at once. The remaining tattooed thugs looked at Agui and the others' imposing builds. They exchanged looks. None dared step forward. Who the hell are you? The bald man clutched his twisted wrist. His teeth clenched. Debts must be repaid. That is only right. Jian's mother owes us 300,000 yuan. 300,000 yuan. I nearly laughed. 300,000 yuan could drive a future 10 billion yuan tech titan to death. I tilted my head. I am here. Young master. Uncle Fu stepped forward. Settle the account with him. Uncle Fu drew a document from his briefcase. His voice was completely even. The loan principal was 100,000 yuan. The interest rate violates lending regulations. Under Chinese law, any interest exceeding 4 times the loan prime rate is unenforceable. You physically assaulted Mr. Jian just now, causing soft tissue injuries. That constitutes intentional assault. Furthermore, you caused trouble in a hospital, seriously disrupting public order. Uncle Fu adjusted his gold-rimmed glasses and handed him a business card. I am the Lu Group's chief legal counsel. Regarding damages and criminal charges, my legal team will be in touch. You are looking at a minimum of 3 years in prison. The bald man froze. He looked at the gold lettering on the card, then at the bodyguards looming beside him like towers. His arrogant fire was like a flame doused in liquid nitrogen. It went out instantly. A sheen of cold sweat formed on his forehead. The Lu Group, he swallowed hard, his voice shaking. In this city, nobody dares claim they do not know the Lu Group. Do you think 3 years is not enough? I looked at him, my tone calm. No. It is a misunderstanding. Young Master Lu, it is all a misunderstanding. The bald man's legs went weak. He nearly dropped to his knees. We do not want the principal anymore. We will pay the medical bills. We are leaving now. Get out, then. But before you do, clean the floor. I pointed at the tiles he had dirtied with his footprints. Without a word, the bald man took off his jacket, knelt on the floor, and began scrubbing. He cleaned it better than a janitor would. In under half a minute, the thugs scrambled away down the corridor. I turned to Jian. He slid down the metal doors and to the floor. He was gasping for breath. His clothes were torn, and one cheekbone was badly swollen. His eyes were fixed on me, filled with intense wariness. Chen, third-year business major. I introduced myself. Jian hesitated, as if searching his memory for my name. Why did you help me? His voice was raw, like it had been scraped by sandpaper. I did not beat around the bush. I tossed him a bank card. The password is 6 zeros. There is 1 million yuan on it. Use 300,000 to repay the principal. Use the rest to pay for your mother's surgery. Move her into a VIP ward. Jian stared at the black card on the marble floor. His pupils contracted, but he did not pick it up. I have nothing. He gritted his teeth and stared into my eyes. What do you want from me? I sat down, bringing my eyes level with his. I want what is in your head. I heard you have been developing a decentralized data scraping algorithm. Jian shuddered. His expression changed instantly. He had developed that algorithm in secret. It was not even complete yet. There was no way anyone else could know about it. How could you know? Do not ask how I know. I cut him off. 1 million yuan for exclusive ownership of that algorithm, plus a 5-year service contract after graduation. Deal? Jian's eyes reddened. He glanced at the glaring red light above the emergency room, then at the card on the floor. The veins on the back of his hand throbbed. 1 second. 2 seconds. 3. He suddenly snatched up the card. His hand shook violently. Young Master Lu, from now on, my life is yours. I stood up, brushing dust from my trouser leg. I do not need your life. I only need a mad dog who can make me money. Uncle Fu, bring in the hospital's best neurosurgeon. Yes, Young master. Half an hour later, Jian's mother was moved into a VIP private care ward. Jian washed his face and changed into a clean patient gown someone had discarded at the nurse's station. He sat on the sofa outside the ward. From his battered black backpack, he pulled out an old Dell laptop. Clear tape lined the edge of its screen. Young Master Lu. This is the algorithm's initial framework. Take a look. He tapped a few keys. The screen lit up. Dense lines of code cascaded down like a waterfall. I only glanced at the upper left corner of the screen, at the project code name. Project Horizon. In that instant, the air around us seemed to freeze for a second. I stared at the screen, light tapping the sofa's leather armrest. Wait, this code looked far too familiar. In my previous life, Wanqing had not even graduated from college. When she secured a mysterious venture capital investment, she became tech's newest rising star overnight. She claimed publicly that she had led her team through days and nights to create that core technology, and that project's name was Horizon. So that was it. In my previous life, she had stolen it first, draining Jian dry, then climbed over someone else's corpse to become the richest woman. Now, this golden goose belonged to me ahead of time. Just then, the phone in my pocket began to vibrate. I took it out and glanced at the screen. The caller ID read, Board Office, Vice President Li. I answered, and Vice President Li's anxious voice came through. Young Master Lu, I am terribly sorry to disturb you. That student you used to support, Wanqing, just came to my office with a young man and caused a scene. I shifted position, leaning back against the sofa. Oh, what kind of scene? He says he has a trade secret valued at 1 billion yuan. He demands the school use its affiliated fund to give him an angel investment. He also said that once he becomes the richest man, he will kick you off the board. I could not hold it in. I laughed aloud. The window at the end of the corridor was not fully closed. Night wind poured in, trickling down the back of my neck. A 1 billion yuan trade secret. Was that not the very thing inside this battered laptop? Fine. I watched the code flicker across the screen. My voice quiet. Tell him the school is willing to invest. Young Master Lu, you do not just intend to invest. You intend to make a grand show of it. But there is one condition. I narrowed my eyes. Make him sign a performance bet agreement backed by unlimited personal liability. I will provide the money personally. Wanqing, since you want to play the chosen one game, I will set a trap that ruins you beyond redemption. I hung up. The metal edge of the phone pressed uncomfortably into my hand. I looked up at Jian on the sofa. He was staring at me, his fingers still hovering over the keyboard. Young Master Lu, what is going on? I tossed my phone onto the coffee table. It landed with a dull thud. Someone wants to steal your work. Jian's expression changed. His hand clenched tight. Do not rush. I leaned back. The leather sofa made a faint scraping sound. How long will it take to strip out your core algorithm? Jian froze for a moment, but quickly caught on. 3 hours. As long as I remove the underlying data retrieval module, what remains will be a useless shell that cannot run. It will look impressive on the surface, but it will crash the moment it handles large data. I nodded. Make a useless shell, then wait for her to come find you. The scene shifts to the next afternoon. Jiang University Business Incubation Center. The lights were off in the second floor VIP observation room. The air conditioning was blasting. Air roared from the vent, bringing a chill. I sat behind the one-way glass, holding an iced Americano. Droplets slid down the cup, wetting my fingertips. The conference room lay on the other side of the glass. Wanqing sat at the head of the conference table. She had changed outfits today. A Chanel tweed jacket, paired with her obviously fake Hermès Birkin. Her chin was held high, like a proud white swan, but the jacket's shoulders clearly did not fit, so she had likely borrowed or rented it. Jian sat across from her. Jian, I do not have time to waste on you. Wanqing's voice came through the speaker, sharp and dripping with undisguised condescension. I am the only one who understands this project's value. 1 million yuan for your core code. Following my instructions, Jian lowered his head, his fingers picking at the seam of his trousers. 1 million is too little. His voice was rough. I poured half a year of my life into this. Too little. Wanqing sneered. She slammed a contract onto the table. The sound came through the microphone, harsh and grating. This junk you wrote cannot make a cent as it stands. Only I would be foolish enough to buy it. Jian, your mother is in the hospital waiting for money to save her life, right? Wanqing leaned forward. Her eyes gleamed with the viper's malice. Besides me, who else can hand you 1 million yuan all at once? Sign it, and take the money to save your mother. Refuse, and wait to collect your mother's body. Hearing that, I raised a brow. In my previous life, she had used this exact method to exploit Jian's desperation and steal his life's work. Then she transformed herself into tech's beautiful genius. Disgusting. Jian's shoulders trembled. This time, it was not an act. The veins in his forehead stood out, but he held himself back. He clenched his back teeth hard. He picked up a pen and signed the contract. The money, Jian said coldly. Su Wanqing smiled in satisfaction. From that fake Hermes bag, she pulled out a bank card and tossed it onto the table. The password is 6 zeros. This project has nothing to do with you from now on. Jian picked up the card. He did not linger for even a second, turning and walking out of the conference room. Only Su Wanqing and Lin Yuxuan remained in the conference room. Wanqing, are we really spending 1 million yuan on this pile of code we cannot understand? Shut up. What do you know? This will be worth 1 billion yuan someday. 10 billion yuan. She carefully took Jian's USB drive and clutched it in her hand. Her eyes burned with fanaticism, as if she already held the whole world. The observation room door opened. A wave of heat from the hallway rushed in for an instant, then was beaten back by the cold air. Agui walked in and handed me a file. The paper's edges were sharp, scraping across my fingertip, rough against my skin. Young master, I have investigated it. Su Wanqing got this 1 million yuan by mortgaging the rundown apartment her parents left her back home, then borrowing high-interest money from Brother Black on the west side. The daily interest is 0.5%. The loan term is 1 month. I opened the file and looked at the borrower's signature. The name Su Wanqing was written with such force that the ink nearly bled through the page. Brother Hai from the west side. I asked casually. It is a small loan company indirectly controlled by the Lu Group. Agui lowered his voice. I smiled. Ice cubes clinked in my cup, making a crisp sound. So that was it. She used money from a company under my name to buy the useless shell code I had already bought out, then planned to use it to con the school fund whose board I sit on. Let us go. I set down my coffee and went to meet our future richest woman. I pushed open the observation room door and crossed the hallway. At the elevator, I happened to run into Su Wanqing and Lin Yuxuan as they came out. The fluorescent hallway lights made my eyes swim. When Su Wanqing saw me, she stopped short. She instinctively straightened her back and tightened her grip on the USB drive. Chen. She looked at me. The bedraggled humiliation she had shown at the hospital was gone from her eyes. In its place was lofty pity. It was as if she already stood at the top of the pyramid, while I was nothing but an ant. What are you doing here? Oh, I forgot. You are a board member's son. She lifted her chin. It is a shame that the wealth you are so proud of will soon be beneath my feet. I stopped. My leather shoes scuffed softly against the tile. I looked at her without speaking. See this? She waved the USB drive in her hand. I have the key to a new era. Vice Presidently has already agreed. As long as I pass tomorrow's technical test, the university fund will give me 5 million yuan in angel investment. Once I get that money and start my company, I will list in the United States within 6 months. At that point, she stepped closer. The smell of cheap perfume rushed into my nostrils, sharp and unpleasant. By then, your pathetic little fortune will mean less than nothing to me. I will exchange those 800,000 yuan for coins and smash them into your face. Lin Yuxuan chimed in from beside her. Did you hear that? Chen, Wanqing is about to become tech's newest rising star. If you kneel and beg us now, maybe Wanqing will leave you a few scraps. I looked at the two of them, a laugh rising in my throat. I raised my hand and checked my watch. Is that so? My voice was even. All I see is that the key in your hand has rusted. What do you mean? Su Wanqing frowned. Nothing. I slipped my hand back into my pocket and took a step forward. The corridor was narrow. That half step directly invaded her space. She instinctively backed away. Her high heel twisted, and she nearly fell. The zipper on your fake bag is open. I pointed at her bag and walked past her toward the elevator. 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. The board's technical evaluation. I will personally be a judge. Su Wanqing. Do not disappoint me. Ding. The elevator doors opened. I stepped inside and turned around. Through the closing elevator doors, I saw Su Wanqing anxiously lower her head to close her bag zipper. That bag holding the high-interest loan contract and worthless code was just like her absurd dream of a second life. One gentle pull, and it would split apart completely. 3 in the afternoon. First conference room. Jiang University Administration Building. The central air conditioning blew directly onto the back of my neck. It was a little cold. I leaned back in the wide leather chair at the head of the table. I idly turned a weighty Mont Blanc fountain pen in my hand. Seated on both sides of the conference table were several core board members, along with the head of the computer science department. The solid wood door swung open. High heels struck the hardwood, clicking sharply. Su Wanqing walked in. She was wearing full makeup today. That ill-fitting Chanel jacket was still draped over her shoulders. She clutched that fake Hermès bag tightly. Lin Yuxuan followed behind, carrying her laptop. When she saw me at the head of the table, she faltered. Her eyes widened instinctively, but I did not look at her. I unscrewed the bottle of water before me and took a sip, moistening my dry throat. Begin, Miss Su. Vice Presidently tapped the table. Everyone's time is valuable. Where is this world-changing algorithm you mentioned? Su Wanqing came back to herself. She took a deep breath, walked to the projector, and inserted the USB drive. Board members. Presidently. Her voice rose, thrumming with barely contained excitement. What I am about to present is for the next decade. The cornerstone of the fintech industry, the Horizon Data Retrieval System. The screen lit up. Several lines of ticker-like code began, scrolling across the black and white interface. Su Wanqing launched into an endless recital of her grand vision, disrupting tradition, 100 billion yuan lower-tier market, and ringing the opening bell on NASDAQ. She had a slogan for everything. Lin Yuxuan stood beside her, his face flushed, as if he could already see himself driving a supercar. I casually tossed my pen onto the table, where it landed with a dull thud. Su Wanqing, I cut her off. That is a fine business plan you have made up, but no one here came to hear a stand-up routine. I turned to Director Jiang, head of computer science. Is the university server connected? Director Jiang adjusted his thick glasses and nodded. It can be connected at any time. Good. I looked at Su Wanqing and pointed at the projection screen. Run a stress test with 300,000 concurrent users. If it is the cornerstone of a 100 billion yuan market, it should handle this minor test. Should it not? Su Wanqing froze. In her previous life, she had merely been a boss who reaped what others built. She knew nothing about underlying code logic. 300,000. Is that not too high? This is only an initial test. Her tongue stumbled. She did not dare run it. I leaned back, folding my hands together. Then what makes you worth 5 million yuan? Fine. Run it, then. Su Wanqing gritted her teeth, still refusing to back down. In her shallow understanding, what Jian had created had made money in her previous life, so it would surely work in this one too. Director Jiang pressed enter several times on his computer. The projector's cooling fan suddenly let out a violent roar. Then, on the large screen, the code began scrolling at a terrifying speed. 1 second. 2 seconds, beep. An unbearably shrill system error ripped through the meeting room's silence. The black screen with white text instantly turned into a glaring blue screen. A huge red alert appeared in the center. Fatal error. Underlying logic module missing. System crash. Fatal error. Underlying logic module missing. System crash. The meeting room fell deathly silent. Only the projector fan's futile hum remained. Every trace of color drained from Su Wanqing's face, leaving it white as paper. This is impossible. She lunged for the keyboard, her fingers hammering frantically at the keys. In a chaotic clatter. Is there something wrong with your server? Yes, it must be the server's fault. Director Jiang slammed his hand on the table. Rising to his feet, he pointed at the screen. Absurd. This is the code you claimed was worth 1 billion yuan. This is nothing but an empty shell stripped of its underlying retrieval module. It is not even as good as a college graduation project. The moment it processes data, it crashes. Vice President Li's face turned livid. He turned to me, sweat beading on his forehead. Young Master Lu, we were deceived by her as well. I ignored him. I rose to my feet and straightened the hem of my suit. My leather shoes crossed the hardwood floor. As I walked step by step towards Su Wanqing, her whole body trembled. Her eyes were fixed on the blue screen, her lips shaking too hard for words. I bent down, lowering my voice, so only the three of us could hear. Su Wanqing, your dream of becoming the richest woman and ringing the opening bell is over. Lin Yuxuan suddenly rushed over and stood in front of Su Wanqing. Chen, was this your doing? You secretly bought a fake, then deliberately used it to trick Wanqing. I did not even spare him a glance. Uncle Fu stepped forward from a corner of the meeting room. Call the police, I said coolly. Report university student Su Wanqing for allegedly using fraudulent technical results to attempt to defraud the university fund of 5 million yuan. The amount is enormous. How many years would that get her? Have legal work it out. Su Wanqing's knees gave out. She collapsed to the floor with a thud. No. Chen. You cannot call the police. I did not commit fraud. I was deceived too. At last, she panicked. Tears washed streaks through her foundation. I did not look at her again. I turned and headed for the meeting room door. Young Master Lu, Su Wanqing screamed behind me. The meeting room door closed behind me, sealing her voice inside. 10 minutes later, I climbed into the Maybach parked below the administration building. The cabin temperature was perfect, and the air carried a faint cedar fragrance. Young Master, the debt collectors have arrived. Uncle Fu sat in the passenger seat, watching through the rearview mirror. I lowered the window halfway. My gaze passed over the flower bed and settled on the administration building entrance. Su Wanqing and Lin Yuxuan were driven out by security like stray dogs. The documents in Su Wanqing's hands scattered across the ground. Her Chanel jacket was smeared with dust as well. Before they could regain their footing, 3 men in black jackets, broad-shouldered and thick-waisted, came straight at them. They blocked the pair on the steps. They were the West Side loan sharks. Miss Su, that so-called code you put up as collateral was just examined by an expert. It is a pile of garbage. The man in front chewed gum. You think you can play us? You used a fake as collateral to borrow 1 million yuan. No. I will return the 1 million yuan right now. Su Wanqing screamed in terror, frantically digging through her bag for the bank card. I'll repay the 1 million. The man sneered, then spat on the ground. Read the contract carefully. Suspected fraud. Triggers the accelerated repayment clause. The penalty doubles. Principal and interest. 3 million yuan. Now. Immediately. Pay up? The figure of 3 million yuan was a heavy hammer, shattering Su Wanqing's backbone. I do not have the money. Give me a few more days. No money. The man grabbed the bag off her shoulder. No money. Yet you are carrying a 300,000 yuan Hermès. This will cover your debt. He yanked hard. Su Wanqing desperately held onto the bag. No. It is mine. An ear-splitting tearing sound rang out across the open plaza. The Hermès bag's handle was ripped clean off. The cheap synthetic leather split apart, and even several pieces of scrap metal used as weights fell out. The gold plastic clasp flew into the air, hit the concrete, and broke in two. The air suddenly fell silent. The leader stared at the faded strip of synthetic leather in his hand. He laughed in furious disbelief. Damn, it is a fake too. The kind sold 3 for 100 yuan. Passing students all stopped to watch, pointing and whispering. Some even pulled out their phones and began recording. Is that not Su Wanqing, the beauty queen from business and economics? Beauty queen, my foot. She carries a fake bag and pretends to be a socialite every day. I heard she even tried to scan the school with a fake project. Those whispers were like needles, piercing Su Wanqing's ears. She covered her face, crouched on the ground, and broke down sobbing. Lin Yuxuan stood beside her, his face deathly pale. Hey, kid, you are her boyfriend, right? The debt collector seized Lin Yuxuan by the collar. She owes 3 million yuan. You pay it for her. Lin Yuxuan shuddered. The next second, he did something no one expected. He shoved the man away and spun around. Then, at the crouching Su Wanqing, he delivered a vicious slap. Smack. The sound rang out sharp and clear. Su Wanqing was knocked to the ground. Blood immediately seeped from the corner of her mouth. She held her face in disbelief, staring at the man she had idealized as the love of her life in her previous life. Lin Yuxuan, you lying bitch. Lin Yuxuan pointed in her face and cursed her out. His face and neck flushed red. I knew there was something wrong with you. Your loan shark debt has nothing to do with me. Do not drag me down with you. With that, he shoved through the crowd like a coward and fled in disgrace. I sat in the car, watching the farce unfold on the steps. My fingertips tapped lightly against the leather seat. Dog eat dog. A fine show, but not enough. 3 million yuan in loan shark debt was only the beginning. I would make her watch with her own eyes the Rome she always dreamed of and learn who had truly built it. Uncle Fu, drive back to the company. I raised the window. The car glided smoothly out of campus. In the rearview mirror, Su Wanqing sat slumped on the ground in despair, surrounded by phone cameras aimed at her. By tomorrow morning, she would have nowhere left to turn. She would seek out the only person in the city who could produce 3 million yuan. Me. And in my company's lobby, a special gift would be waiting for her. 9 o'clock that morning, Lu Group headquarters, the executive office on the top floor. The coffee machine hissed, filling the air with the rich, bitter aroma of espresso. Holding a mug, I stood before the floor-to-ceiling windows, looking down over Jiangsheng's morning rush hour. Traffic crawled beneath me like ants. Boss, the underlying architecture has been rebuilt. It handled 1 million concurrent users, without a hitch. Jian's voice came from behind me. I turned around. Jian wore a carefully tailored, dark bespoke suit. His hair was impeccably groomed, if not for the faint, bloodshot veins still lingering in his eyes. No one would have guessed that yesterday, he had been beaten outside the emergency room. Money's makeover always works instantly. I took a sip of coffee. A faint bitterness spread across my tongue. What about the bait code? As instructed, we planted a tracking Trojan in it. If anyone tries to forcibly repair the underlying logic, the Trojan will lock the device's physical hard drive. Jian adjusted his new gold-rimmed glasses. There was a hard edge in his voice. Good. The intercom on my desk suddenly rang. I pressed the speaker button. President Liu. There is a Miss Su at reception claiming to be your fiancée. She is downstairs demanding to see you. Security cannot stop her. She is sitting on a lobby coffee table, crying. The young receptionist's voice trembled. Fiancée? I set my coffee cup on the desk. The porcelain struck the glass surface with a crisp clink. She really has the nerve to call herself that. Tell security to stand down. I pulled out a tissue and wiped my hands. Let her in. Have her wait in the first floor reception area. I will go down myself. Yes. President Liu. The elevator sped downward. The weightless drop made my stomach tighten. Ding! First floor. The lobby air conditioning was frigid. The instant I stepped out, I saw sitting on the leather sofa, Su Wanqing. Today, she looked worse than a drowned rat. Her messy hair clung to her cheeks. Her smeared eyeshadow formed dark circles around her eyes. One heel of her high-heeled shoe had snapped. She limped toward me. Chen, you finally agreed to see me. She reached for my suit sleeve. I took half a step back. Agui moved in from the side, standing between us like a wall. Su Wanqing slammed into Agui's shoulder, grunted, and bounced away. She fell onto the mirror-polished marble floor. Chen, save me. Ignoring the pain, she scrambled forward and clutched Agui's pant leg. The loan sharks came to my dorm last night and caused trouble. They said they would throw paint everywhere. My advisor said I will be expelled. Lend me 3 million yuan. No. 5 million. As long as you help me through this crisis, I will repay you double in the future. I looked at her. My gaze fell on her mud-stained hands. The lobby had just been mopped. You dirtied it. Repay double with what? My voice remained even. What will you use to repay me? That useless shell of code that crashes the moment it runs. Wanqing went rigid. She jerked her head up. In her bloodshot eyes, there still remained a trace of absurd superiority. That was an accident. Jiang University's servers are just terrible. You have no idea what that algorithm will be worth someday. She gritted her teeth, the veins in her neck bulging. I know of countless emerging market trends. All I need is capital. Sooner or later, I will be Jiangsheng's richest person. Chen, if you help me now, you are investing in a business empire. She nearly made me laugh. At a time like this, she was still dreaming of being Destiny's chosen daughter. Just then, the sharp click of high heels on hardwood echoed down the corridor, mixed with the steps of leather shoes. President Liu, the materials for the technology department's morning meeting are ready. Holding a tablet, Jian emerged from the other side of the elevator lobby. Several department heads followed behind him, carrying file folders. Hearing the voice, Wanqing instinctively turned her head. The moment their eyes met, she froze. She stared at Jian in his bespoke suit, a luxury watch on his wrist. Her mouth fell slightly open. For a long moment, she could not speak. Jian. She rubbed her eyes, as though she thought she was hallucinating. Why are you here? Why are you dressed like this? Wanqing sprang up from the floor and pointed in Jian's face. You spent all that 1 million yuan on clothes. What about your mother? You are not treating her. Jian stopped. He did not spare Wanqing a single glance. He walked straight up to me. He dipped his head slightly. President Liu, the new generation Tianyuan algorithm has passed internal stress testing at the million user level. Here is the test report. He handed me the tablet. I took it and casually flipped through it. Tianyuan. Wanqing was like a cat whose tail had been stepped on. She let out a piercing scream. What Tianyuan? That is my horizon. Jian, how dare you sell my project to the Liu Group? You signed a full buyout contract. She lunged for the tablet in my hand. Two guards reacted swiftly, lifting her off the ground between them. Let me go. That is mine. I am the future richest person. How dare you security guards touch me? She kicked wildly, and her remaining high heel flew off, smashing into the glass door. I handed the tablet to Igui and walked up to her. The cold air blew over me, yet the air in the lobby felt murky. Your property? I looked at her twisted face. Jian, tell her what her 1 million yuan bought. Jian adjusted his glasses. The lenses reflected the cold overhead light. Miss Su, what you bought was merely a search system shell I wrote for fun in my freshman year. It does not even qualify as half-finished. The true core architecture was exclusively licensed to the Liu Group last week. As for that 1 million yuan, Jian paused. His tone did not change. I never even activated the card. Right in front of the debt collectors, I threw it into the hospital shredder. Wanqing looked as though she had been struck by lightning. She stopped struggling at once. No, impossible, she muttered to herself, her face drained of color. In my last life, it was clearly this. It was clearly because of this. Her voice was barely audible, but I heard every word. Last life? My thumb brushed the cufflink on my suit. So this idiot really had been reborn. Too bad her brain had not been reborn with her. In my previous life, the 10 billion yuan in resources I poured into her had all been mistaken for her own talent. Wanqing, it is time to wake up. I looked down at her. I forgot to tell you. That microloan company in the west of the city, I am its true owner. Wanqing abruptly looked up. Her pupils shrank to pinpricks. That tiny, rundown apartment you used as collateral has triggered the mandatory enforcement clause because you are suspected of fraud. At 8 this morning, court officials went to seal it. I watched her expression crumble inch by inch and delivered the final blow. Oh, and one more thing. See that car outside? Its police lights flashing? Do you see it? I pointed beyond the glass wall. 2 uniformed officers were opening their car doors and striding toward the Liu Group's entrance. Vice Chancellor Li reported you yesterday. You are suspected of defrauding a university fund on an especially massive scale. That dream of becoming the richest person can keep you company in a jail cell. The doors swung open. A wave of heat swept into the lobby. Cold handcuffs glinted beneath the morning, some with a blinding icy gleam. The handcuffs came straight for Wanqing. The metal cuff snapped shut with an exceptionally sharp click. The lobby somehow seemed even colder, raising goosebumps on everyone's skin. Officer, I am innocent. I was truly the one who was deceived. Two policewomen held Wanqing between them. She struggled and tried to shrink back. Her cheap Chanel jacket was tugged out of shape, then slipped to the floor. No one paid any attention to her screams. Following procedure, the officers presented the detention warrant and dragged her toward the door. As she passed me, she clung desperately to the stainless steel frame of the revolving glass door. Her nails scraped across the metal, making a piercing screech. Chen, You set me up. This was all your scheme. Her eyes were webbed with red veins. Like a gambler who had lost everything, she glared at me viciously. What do you know? What is in my head is priceless. If you will not invest in me, plenty of others will. Once I get out, I will make you repay every humiliation I suffered today. 1,000, 10,000 times over. I looked at her contorted face. I did not even feel like arguing with her. I raised a hand and lightly waved it with the back of my hand, as though dispersing some foul odor from the air. Uncle Fu, disinfect the lobby. Have this marble floor tile torn out and replaced today. Yes, young master. They shoved Su Wanqing into the police car, her screams ringing out. The siren wailed. Alternating red and blue lights cut through the morning sunshine and gradually faded away. I turned toward my private elevator. President Liu, Jian followed behind me. If the core algorithm development goes smoothly, we can hold the launch event early next month and capture market share in Southeast Asia. Speed it up. I watched the elevator floor numbers rise. Erase the old code name, Horizon. Do not leave a single character behind. It is filthy. Understood. At 6 that evening, I finished the documents on my desk, massaging my aching brow, then took the elevator directly to the underground garage. The underground garage was quiet. Only the low hum of the exhaust fans remained. The air carried a faintly sweet scent of gasoline and antifreeze. Uncle Fu had already opened the rear door of the Maybach. Just as I bent to get in, a dark figure suddenly sprang from behind a nearby support column. Young Master Liu. Wait, Agui reacted instantly, kicking the figure hard in the side of the knee. There was a dull thud. The man cried out and crashed onto the concrete, rolling twice. He came to a stop at my feet. In the garage's dim light, I saw his face clearly. It was Lin Yuxuan. He wore a wrinkled white shirt. Sweat had plastered his hair to his forehead. His face still bore the red handprint from yesterday, when at school. Su Wanqing slapped him. Who are you? Agui pinned his shoulder down, his knee pressed into the man's back. Young Master Liu. It is me, Lin Yuxuan. I came to pledge my loyalty. Lin Yuxuan bared his teeth in pain. He clawed desperately at the ground before my shoes, straining to lift his head. That crazy woman, Su Wanqing, has been arrested. I swear, I had nothing to do with it. I tried to talk her out of it from the start. She insisted on running some startup scam for money. I lowered my head and looked at that utterly servile face. In my previous life, that same pathetic expression had sweet-talked Su Wanqing into lavishing my money on him. She kept insisting he was her true love, while I was just an ATM reeking of money. You came to me just to say that. My voice turned cold. No. Lin Yuxuan swallowed hard, his Adam's apple bobbing. Young Master Liu, you used to give me 60,000 yuan every month. Could you possibly continue that? I am not picky. 30,000. No. Even 10,000 will do. As long as you give me money, I will be your dog from now on. Whoever you tell me to bite, I will bite. He desperately pledged his loyalty, with no bottom line and no dignity. I could not help it and let out a soft laugh. It echoed through the empty underground garage, jarringly out of place. Be my dog? I took half a step back, putting distance between us. Are you worthy? Lin Yuxuan's expression froze. I turned to Uncle Fu. Uncle Fu, did you bring the contract for that debt in West City? I did. Young master. Uncle Fu pulled a photocopy from his briefcase and bent down to drop it beside Lin Yuxuan's face. The paper scraped across the concrete, making a dry rustling sound. Mr. Lin, take a look at the signatures. Uncle Fu adjusted his gold-rimmed glasses, his tone as flat as ever. Lin Yuxuan strained to look sideways. In the light, he saw the high-interest loan contract clearly. Borrower, Su Wanqing. At the bottom, under emergency contact and joint guarantor, was a clear signature. Lin Yuxuan, with a bright red thumbprint beside it. No. This cannot be real. Lin Yuxuan's face turned deathly pale, like a dead fish hauled from the water. I was only the emergency contact. Wanqing said it was just a formality and told me to sign it. How did I become a guarantor? Joint and several guarantee. I repeated the words, savoring how sweet they sounded. It means Su Wanqing is locked up now, and her house has been seized. Every cent of that debt now falls on you, with the penalties doubled. The total is 3 million yuan. I bent down slightly, bringing my gaze level with his. You want 60,000 yuan and spending money every month. Fine. Pay off this 3 million yuan loan first. Then I will reward you, little by little. Lin Yuxuan's pupils trembled violently. He suddenly realized he had fallen into an abyss he would never climb out of. Chen, you cannot do this. This is a predatory loan scheme. I will sue you. He struggled like a madman. Agui applied pressure and shoved his face straight back onto the rough concrete. The rough concrete scraped his cheekbone raw, drawing thin streaks of blood. Sue me? I straightened up, adjusting my suit cuff. Go ask the court whether a written joint and several guarantee is legally enforceable. As for the lending company, it is fully compliant. The interest sits right at the legal limit. Who do you think you can beat in court? I turned and got into the car. Agui, throw him out and call Brother Black in West City. Tell them the guarantor is right here. A father's debts are paid by his son. A son's debts can be paid by his parents too. Understood? The car door slammed shut. The Maybach glided out of the underground garage. In the rearview mirror, Lin Yuxuan's desperate screams were torn apart by the roar of the exhaust fans, then swallowed completely by the darkness. 3 days later, at Jiang First Detention Center, the visiting room held only a cold, hard metal chair. The overhead bulb gave off a faint electrical buzz. The air reeked of harsh disinfectant. Through the thick reinforced glass, I watched the iron door opposite open. A guard led Wanqing out. When she saw me sitting across from her, she visibly froze. Then an intensely unhinged joy erupted in her eyes. She lunged at the glass and snatched up the phone. Chen, I knew you would come. I knew you could not bear to leave me. Her cracked lips trembled with excitement. Her voice came through the receiver, heavy with ragged breaths, into my ear. Hurry and pay my bail. Once I am out, just give me another round of startup funding, and I will do whatever you say. Do you not like me? I will stop acting so high and mighty. I will be your girlfriend. I said nothing. I only leaned back in my chair and watched her silently. Watched that sickeningly condescending pose of hers. She thought she was a rare treasure awaiting the highest bidder. If she lowered her price a little, someone should be grateful to take her on. I picked up the receiver, my fingertips brushing its plastic casing. Wanqing, the food in detention must be awful, right? My voice was quiet. She paused. Her eyes grew uneasy. What do you mean? Did you bring the money or not? I did. With my other hand, I picked up a document and pressed it against the reinforced glass. This is the prosecution's recommendation to indict, issued just now. I looked into her eyes and read it one word at a time. Wanqing is suspected of contract fraud, an attempted offense. Given her defiant refusal to admit guilt and complete lack of remorse, the prosecution recommends a 3-year sentence. Impossible. Like a cat with its tail stepped on, she began pounding madly on the glass. I did not commit fraud. I really have the technology. I was reborn. I was the richest person in my past life. That code was mine. Quiet. Sit down. The guard behind her barked sharply. Wanqing was forced back into her chair. Her chest heaved violently. Tears and snot smeared her face. Reborn? I gave a quiet laugh into the receiver. Yes. If you had not been reborn, how would you know the name Horizon? How would you know Jian was a future tech genius? Wanqing suddenly went rigid. She stared at me in disbelief, her eyes nearly popping from their sockets. How do you know? I sat up straight, leaning forward, close to the glass. How do you think you became the richest woman in your past life? Was it your brilliant business sense or your exceptional management skills? I was the one who poured 10 billion yuan into you and used every connection the Liu family had to force you to the top. I lowered my voice. Every word was an ice cold blade, driven viciously into her ears. Every data drive you crashed, I paid people to repair. Every powerful figure you offended, I humiliated myself, toasting them until they let it go. Even that so-called genius code of yours, I bought outright from Jian, then released under your name, Wanqing. Without me, you are not even as good as a stray dog. Through the glass, I clearly saw Wanqing's pupils contract sharply. Her mouth fell open, and she gasped for air. A meaningless gurgling rattled in her throat. In that moment, her proud memories of being the destined richest woman came crashing down. Why you were reborn to. At last, she understood. I released the receiver and dropped it back onto its cradle. Enjoy your 3 years in there. When you get out, that 3 million high-interest loan will have compounded. And that leech, Lin Yuxuan, will be waiting for you in the outside world. I stood up, straightened my collar, and turned toward the door. Behind me came Wanqing's utterly broken, piercing scream. Then came the chaotic footsteps of guards restraining her. I knew her hell had only just begun, and my business empire was only now officially beginning. Rain lashed down outside the window. Raindrops hammered the bulletproof glass of the top-floor office, creating a dense, muffled white noise. I reclined in my leather executive chair, turning a sterling silver Zippo lighter in my hand. Its metal casing was icy cold, its edges pressing into my fingertips. Click. A flame sprang up, its deep blue glow reflected in the window, flashing across my eyes. I did not smoke. I only watched the flame dance, then snapped the lid shut. The office door opened. Cold air slipped through the gap, raising goosebumps along my arms. Agui came in first, with Jian behind him. Neither of them looked well. Young master. Agui stepped up to the desk, bowing his head slightly. The West City debt has been settled. My hand holding the lighter paused. I looked up at him. Lin Yuxuan still owed 3 million yuan. That is impossible. His parents back home, working the fields, could not raise that much even if they sold their blood. He did not pay it himself. Agui laid a bank transfer receipt on the desk. Half an hour ago, someone transferred 3 million into Brother Black's company account. Note: the Shen Group settles Lin Yuxuan's debt. I picked up the receipt. The paper was slightly damp, with the faint bitter scent of printer ink. The sender's account name, Shen Capital. I tossed the receipt back onto the desk. So it was him. Shen Yikan. After Wanqing climbed to the top by stepping on me in my past life, he was the man who stood at her side, the man who opposed me at every turn, then joined forces with Wanqing in the capital markets to crush the Liu Group. He was a privileged business scion, President Liu. Jian pushed up his slipping glasses, his voice tight. There is more. I just detected a sudden flood of online smear articles about our Tianyuan algorithm. He handed me the tablet. The screen glared with harsh white light. The headlines were bold and black, designed to provoke outrage. Capital's bloodlust. Liu Group heir seizes what is not his. Genius girl from a poor family driven mad. Core technology stolen. The dirty deal behind an elite university. Campus beauty jailed. Her boyfriend nearly driven to death by loan sharks. The truth is outrageous. I quickly scrolled through the screen. The accompanying images were exceptionally clear. One showed Wanqing wearing handcuffs as she was escorted into a police car. Another showed Yuxuan last night, his face covered in blood in the underground garage, kneeling in despair in a security camera still. The image had been framed very cleverly. Agui was completely cropped out, leaving only Yuxuan's weak, helpless back and the Maybach's cold front end. The paid trolls have joined in. The topic shot into the top 3 trends within 10 minutes. Jian swallowed hard, his Adam's apple bobbing. Shen Capital also released a public statement. Tomorrow at 10 in the morning, they will hold a press conference at the Intercontinental Hotel. They claim they will expose the technology industry's biggest financial scandal and seek justice for the victims. After hearing him out, I picked up my lighter again. Click. The flame ignited again. I smiled at the blue flame. Shen Yikan, you got so used to reaping what others sowed in our past life. Why are you so impatient in this one? Wanqing is locked up. So, you pulled out Yuxuan, that stray dog with nowhere to go, and used him as a weapon. You want to ruin my reputation completely and sabotage Tianyuan's launch while you are at it. Mr. Liu, the public relations team is already trying to suppress the trend, but the Shen family is pouring money into it. We cannot push it down. Jian looked at me, a thin sheen of sweat on his forehead. At tomorrow's press conference, if Yuxuan really turns on us in public, we will have no way to clear our names. This kind of moral stain is a corporation's worst nightmare. Once we are branded as thieves of a poor student's hard work, government partnerships and overseas venture funding will stop at once. Do not suppress it. I released the lighter, and the flame went out. Pull every public relations budget. Let the attention rise as high as it wants. The higher, the better. Jian froze, but he has set the stage. If we do not let him finish his performance, would that not be terribly rude of us? I stood up and walked to the floor-to-ceiling window. I watched the city's rain-blurred neon below. Agui, find out where Yuxuan is being kept. Do not touch him. Just keep him under watch. Understood. Jian. I turned around. The entire tech department works through the night. Take the dozen or so junk code bases we burned through in the lab and package them into a file that looks highly sophisticated. Make sure it has a backdoor. Jian's eyes lit up. He understood my meaning at once. Are you planning to? I did not answer. I only glanced at my watch. Tomorrow at 10 in the morning, the Intercontinental Hotel. Let us give young Master Shen a very generous gift. The banquet hall was terrifyingly silent. Even the